Welcome to Good Morning Football, presented by Old Trapper. Yeah, that's right. GMFB, everybody, on a Monday. Happy early October. I mentioned the undefeated team thing. It is actually kind of strange how early it is. Normally, we have a longer-standing storyline of a team that's being absolutely dominant. However, it's only the fourth time since 1970 that this happens, that everybody's lost a game. It feels like an even playing field. And Manti, you and I were talking about the Ravens before the show.
Yes.
Like, it's just odd to see some of these teams behaving certain ways.
Behaving certain ways, playing certain ways, looking certain ways, guys. It's been a little strange. It is Halloween month, but that is a little out of the ordinary.
We don't want it to be scary. No one wants to be frightful, Kyle. However, maybe that's how Western New York was feeling last night, because Vrabel pulled the Bills down to the mud with his teeth.
Yeah, well, they were in costume early in the all whites. We showed these iced out uniforms. Let's go to Western New York, where it was not icy at all. In fact, the NBC coverage showed Patriots win. This team lost to the Raiders a few weeks ago, and they just went into Western New York to get to 3-2. Biggest win of Drake May's young career, certainly the biggest win for Mike Vrabel in his short tenure as the Patriots head coach, but a loss for Buffalo. Let's hear from both quarterbacks, starting with the young guy who got the dub.
Man, that was fun. That was a tough one. I took everybody in that locker room, and the guys came out and we battled. Didn't play the best in the first half. The defense helped us out, and we came back offensively and got some things going. And 2-minute drive at the end, just go down and win it. That's what you want. You know, my dad and my brothers always said, you know, in basketball or baseball, just the last play or the last shot, you don't want the ball in my hands. So I'm not going to lose that mindset, and I'm going to keep that mindset my whole career.
We just played sloppy. Not going to win a football game turning the ball over 3 times in our red zone. Gave them one in their red zone. That's just bad football, and we just did not play good tonight.
I can imagine the Bills and Josh Allen not happy about that performance on Sunday Night Football, but the Patriots went home after that road trip to Western New York with a win and with a newfound respect and confidence within the division. Drake May looked great. At one point, Manti, Chris Collinsworth was saying, if I'm the Bills defense, I'm not letting Drake May get out to his right and throw, because it was like completion, and it seems like Stephon Diggs always stepped up for him.
Yeah, it was always to his right. Drake May was always going to his right, and he always would find number 8 somewhere on the sideline doing his thing. Listen, I think when you look at Stephon Diggs and you understand his history with the Buffalo Bills, during his 4 years at Buffalo, he had 4 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. He is 4th in Bills franchise history for receptions, reception yards, and touchdowns. So do you think this guy took it personal? Do you think that he came into Highmark Stadium when he stepped off the bus with a goal to make people regret, to make people remember what he was able to do for them for those 4 years? For weeks 1 through 5, he averaged 5 receptions for 53 yards. Last night, he doubled the receptions, Jamie. He had 10 receptions and almost tripled his yards with 146 yards. But it wasn't just the stuff on the field that he was doing. It was the stuff that he was doing off the field. How he was greeting his teammates. How he was on the sideline. You could read his lips. We're okay. Let's go. Let's step it up. I got us. That's what we saw from Stephon Diggs. It was so nice to see him come into his own. It was so nice to see him to be comfortable with Drake May. And like you said, Collinsworth was saying all night long, for some reason, the Bills keep letting Drake May get to his right. And every time he scrambled to his right, he's found number 8. So, Willie, it was so good to see Stephon Diggs make his way back to Highmark Stadium and make a mark on that football game.
Yeah, but I got to tip my hat off to Drake May. When he came out of college, I didn't really think much about him. I kind of just thought he was just going to be another guy. But last night, for his first primetime start, he grew up right before our eyes. First half, I thought it took him some time to kind of get his wits and figure it out. But the second half, he was on an absolute heater, man. You talk about a guy who was 13 for 14 for 184 yards. And what was smart about what the Pats did, man, they leaned on the run game. They forced the Bills linebackers to play a little close to the line of scrimmage so Drake May could see those intermediate throws. He could play a little bit outside those numbers for those explosive plays. Drake May, man, I'm sorry. I owe this young man an apology. I'm a fan now. Simply how he played in the second half. Because you talk about stepping into hostile territory. You know what the game means for Diggs. You know, being a quarterback, they're going to come after you. But he stood in the pocket. He was confident. He was composed. He was ready for the day. And he showed up in a major way, especially in that 2-minute drive for the game-winning field goal. Man, Drake May, tip my hat off to you, young fella.
No, I feel exactly what you're saying, because if you were watching football all day yesterday in the early window, whenever it was, there's some bad quarterback play yesterday. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
You ain't lying.
We love football. We love the league. It was rough. It was rough to see either guys who are playing someone because their quarterback is injured, or teams that just don't have a quarterback, you watch that and you're like, okay, the Patriots have a quarterback. Welcome to the group of teams, this elusive, exclusive club of guys that have a quarterback. He's got a lot to work on. He's got a lot to grow. But they have a guy last night. Understand what happened last night. This was not just a win in prime time for a young quarterback. The Bills had won 13 straight at home. That's over. The Bills had scored 30-plus in each game. That's now over. The Bills had won the turnover battle however many games in a row. That's not over. Drake May went in there and won. That is exactly what he was drafted to do. That is what Mike Vrabel was hired to do. It wasn't to beat the Jets. It wasn't to beat the Dolphins. It was to beat the Josh Allen Bills, and he just did it. I take exception with Sean McDermott afterwards. He says we beat ourselves. Bull BS, Sean. No, you did not.
Got beat by Drake May.
You got beat by Drake May and Mike Vrabel. I know you had self-inflicted mistakes. You also had some mistakes inflicted upon you, including at the end of the game when the young quarterback bled the clock out and kicked the game-winning field goal while you guys got your fancy uniforms and your fancy whiteouts. That whiteout worked as well for you this weekend as Penn State played this weekend, all right? So enough with the whiteouts. None of that stuff. All right, get out of here with the whiteouts. Listen, I'm very vocal about the Bills. I'm excited about the Bills. When they take a loss like that and the franchise quarterback is saying we played sloppy and played bad, you're going to hear about it. Now, listen, the Bills, they weren't going to go 17-0. Who cares? They lost the game. But they didn't just lose a game. They lost the game to a division rival who's been looking for ways to beat them. And they drafted the quarterback and hired the coach to do it. And last night they did. They will see this team again. They may see this team in the playoffs. Who the hell knows? But for one night, after a day of some just awful, awful quarterback play around the league, New England, you can wake up this morning and be like, we got a guy. And we just took out the guy. So we got good things coming.
Listen, guys, and Willie, tell me or not, when this game was going down and you started to see that first half and all those mistakes and the turnovers, that was the first time I saw Josh Allen get tackled and he kind of got up slow a little bit. Immediately in my head, my football brain went to Coach Sean McDermott's never going to wear these jerseys again, ever. Like, ever. This is the worst that I've seen the Buffalo Bills play in sometimes, guys, and we've been saying it this morning. There were turnovers, there were just mistakes. Josh Allen looked like he got hurt a little bit on one play when he landed on his hip, and I was like, they're never wearing these jerseys. Are beautiful, they're sick, but that's the worst that I've seen this Buffalo Bills team. So, Willie, I know you had some coaches that after a game like this would say, we will never, ever wear that combo ever again.
Yeah, but uniforms don't make plays. We got to give credit to the pass defense, man. They look like a different outfit when Christian Gonzalez is on the field. They play together. Milton Jones, how this defense, and not only how they played, man, that's how they competed. I can't stress enough. And man, Ty, you can pay a testament to this. It's hard to match your opponent's energy on the road, right? Because they're comfortable. Like Kyle said, they got the all whites, prime time, Josh Allen. They're feeling themselves. They're undefeated. Nevertheless, man, this Patriots defense said, we don't care. We come in to fight and they battle. So credit to Mike Vrabel. He got that defense ready to hum and they got